Someone left a comment that's hard to read because I'm not sure if there's a language issue. And they told me I should say thank you, okay? Now, in the video they posted it under, I mentioned as a side subject that myself and other people who were in the computer industry made it to where you're allowed to make backup copies of your computer's files without Microsoft Corporation demanding extra money and making them follow some laws and also making sure that they were declared a monopoly. But that's another set of stories. And I told people to say thank you. I'm part of the reason you're allowed to just download a copy of Windows 7 and downgrade, quote unquote, Windows 10 so you can actually get the damn thing to work correctly. But anyway, let's move on. So this is the comment the person left. Now, there isn't any real punctuation in it, and I'm not sure if I'm stopping at the right points for sentence ending begin. Here we go. Now, the video this is posted under, again, this person's telling me to say thank you, okay? Is about firearms. Stop calling it an AR. Is a rifle. You giving these morons ammunition to attack our Second Amendment. Please be warned that people have posted something like that, but they don't live in the United States and they don't have Second Amendment rights in the country they're in. But anyway, I don't know if this person's from the United States or not, or if it's a language issue, or if they were just having trouble typing. If we let them attack our Second Amendment, we'll be using muskets or enemies to this country upgrade their weapons. Politicians are afraid to define assault weapons due to if you get hit with a frying pan in your head, you are soaked it with a weapon. The frying pan becomes an assault weapon, will high heel fork, and so on. Say thank you, okay. I'm going to interpretive dance club this, I think. Stop calling it an AR. It's a rifle. The video was specifically about the AR-15 platform compliant guns that are under the same category. All of them have interchangeable parts with the original AR-15, or almost. It is an AR. And yes, they are rifles, and I explained that in the video. Apparently you didn't watch or didn't understand. You are giving these morons ammunition to attack our Second Amendment, and if we let them, we'll be using muskets while our enemies to this country upgrade their weapons. You didn't watch the video or didn't understand it? Next. I can make, it's not a musket, it's a non-metallic cartridge-based firearm. That doesn't mean musket. You can make a gun that does actually much more than you could do with a standard firearm and be fully auto if you just don't use cartridges. You can make a fully automatic propane or, dare I say, isobutane, or even better, other tane, driven firearm, and it wouldn't legally be qualified as a firearm, even though it definitively would do better. It would be a machine gun. It would actually work better than most machine guns. The U.S. government's working on one. As for the enemies upgrading stuff, enemies to the United States do things like set off truck bombs and hit buildings with airplanes. Countries attacking us would do aerial bombardment. You do not have one of those. Or atom bombs. I don't think you have one of those either. And yes, literally the ATF has a form to purchase and or own and or apply to own an H-bomb. I don't want to think about that. Let's move on. I'm going to find that form just so I can see it's there, but it is there. I think they're hiding it now. Anyway, politicians are afraid to define assault weapons due to if you get hit with a frying pan, it would have to be defined as an assault weapon. No. Because assault weapon is a non-defined expression. And you didn't pay attention to the video. Assault weapon, like assault rifle, originally started off being marketing terms used by the U.S. gun industry to sell products and appeal to machoism. Assault rifle was originally assigned to an advertisement for a grenade launcher for non-lethal grenades and flares. The original assault rifle was technically a rifled barrel flare gun. I'm not kidding, that's where it came from. And assault weapon was also used for advertising for firearms by gun industry people. One of them was Remington, the other one was some other company, I think Colt. The point is, these aren't invented terms by libtards taking your guns. Next, one of them is actually defined. Assault rifle, it has been adopted as a word, even though it's kind of kludgy, as to mean a machine gun that can do a 3-round burst, and now they just use the expression select fire. They don't like using assault rifle much anymore as a wording because of all this horseshit we see in the news. But assault rifle actually has a definition. Assault weapon has been defined by each state slightly different, but conventionally it means anti-AR-15. And I'm not being oversimplified about it because it's explicitly what people keep talking about when they decide the definition this week has to be whatever it is they don't like things to be. Assault weapon really just means anything that politicians and gun control advocates want it to mean that week. But what is consistent is any gun, any firearm of any kind that resembles visually a military firearm. Now, what is a military firearm? Besides the assault rifle, which is just the definition of what the trigger does, assault weapon, in their opinion, is a firearm that's especially useful for attacking, not defense. This is not what they'll say in a court case. This is not what politicians really tell you what they mean, but that really is it. Because that's what they say behind closed doors. The trouble is, a weapon that would be useful for self-defense, I have come up with, I do this, the only firearm you can own that would be useful for self-defense only, but not really useful for attacking a person, would be a very large bore, basically a shotgun that fires very lightweight projectiles like rubber slugs or something like that, maybe even wood, that fires basically, it's a rubber slug gun, literally a rubber bullet gun. That's it. That's the only firearm I can find that would never legally be definable by most of the most gun control advocates as being lethal. It's designed not to be lethal at any distance. And it's especially useful for self-defense if you're attacked within about 30 feet. Not 21 feet like the FBI wants, but 30 feet all the way down to point blank. And yes, the closer someone is to you, the more likelihood they are to be very seriously injured or possibly expire. But it's not meant to kill anybody. And guess what it is? It's an extremely illegal firearm because the ATF defines it as a destructive device, even though it's designed not to be. Because they changed the definition so you and I can't have basically a 12-gauge handgun or shotgun that shoots rubber bullets. Unless you just buy a standard shotgun and load it up with rubber slugs, which is what I'm talking about. Except for a shotgun with rubber slugs, every firearm could be considered an assault weapon if you use the definition they're really talking about in the back rooms. The one they use in the law is very simply a gun, any firearm that has a removable magazine, and that's it. I'm not kidding. They don't base it on foot-pounds energy. They don't base it on whether it's firing BB gun pellets or not. If it has a removable magazine that uses cartridges that fire pellets or bullets or slugs, it doesn't matter. If it has a removable magazine, that's the main sticking point. And specifically, over 29 rounds. So watch the Tal Fledermaus video where he just shows people how to make a 29-round magazine out of a 30-round. It's perfectly legit, perfectly cromulent, and no, really, that's all you'd have to do. By the way, did you know that the laws only say that it can't take, you can't have a magazine that's over 29 rounds? It doesn't specify a gun that can hold 15 magazines. Yeah, there are guns that you can put 2 magazines in with 29 rounds in it, and suddenly you have a gun that's still compliant with California laws. But anyway, the video this person commented under was a video about people finding loopholes in the law in California by just obeying the damn law. What they did is they removed every feature, including the looks of it, just the aesthetics, to where it didn't look like a gun that you would see in a Rambo movie, which was the specification. So what they did is they made it look like an old-style sporterized firearm. What does that mean? What that means is they used a standardized hunting or traditional buttstock. That means that it has a grip that you grab this way, like a tennis racket, and the trigger is placed in front of it. That's less comfortable than having a pistol grip, but that's what they want. They also want a buttstock on it that doesn't fold, although they allow it, but don't do that. And they did not want it to have any of the other features that they saw on military firearms. Period, full stop. So they made a long list. And if you do that, they allow you to put in not just a 30-round magazine, but at the time, they let you put in any magazine you wanted, including the 100-round magazines that Stephen Paddock used, which means this would defeat the purpose of removing any of those things. Also, I didn't point out in the video that someone came up with a variation of the AR-15. And yes, I'm talking just about the AR-15. Stop calling it the AR, but that's the one I'm talking about. You didn't pay attention? Someone came up with yet another version of the AR-15 that was not made with the cripple stock or whatever. They made it a bullpup. You put the magazine in here. It does not have the magazine prominently below the action of the gun or ahead of the trigger. It's behind the trigger and part of the buttstock. Also, that one, if you're not aware of it, had 3 magazines in it. You'd put in the big one in the back and another one in front of it that was, I think, a 25-round mag, and another one that was a mini cluster one. And after you fired them, when it came out, it would eject them. You'd have to slide the others back and push it up into it. You'd have to, fiddle with your armpit, but you could fire a ridiculous amount of cartridges. And then someone upgraded that to make it to where it could feed from all 3 of them until they ran out. It's convoluted. It was $14,000, but someone did it just to see if they could make one. But anyway, the point is that was a bullpup. And yes, AR-15 fans that want it to look Rambo-ish, that's the assertion people make about it, right? Didn't like it. It's a bullpup. That's not an AR. Yes, it is. It's an AR. It's just packaged differently so you can get it through California Customs, so you don't have to worry about it. California Customs is a company, by the way. But you can get it into California, and no one will even look at it because it looks like a standard, rifle that has maybe 5 shots in it. It doesn't. It can hold, there's a variation of it that had a 100-round magazine. It was a coffin mag, quad stack. The reason I bring this up is if you want to have what you claim you want the gun for, self-defense, home defense, hunting, complying with California law just consists of you not spending all that money on barbadolling one gun or buying 20 of them for some reason, but buy one good gun that they can't outlaw because the goddamn thing looks boring. Well, and then some politician, but you complied with the law and it still has a large magazine. Not only does it have a large magazine, it can have 3. And it's a bullpup. And it looks boring. It looks like a single-shot 22. It's not. It's a 100-shot 22. And I also compared in the video the fact that one of the guns they approved originally started off being dead-ass a machine gun. The California law doesn't allow you having a readily convertible machine gun for some reason for about 6 months. But they would outlaw you having a gun, an AR-15, that can't be made full auto because the one that was being made also made it to where you couldn't put a drop-in auto sear in it. There's an entire population of liberals that want all guns outlawed. They're complete assholes. They're a tiny percentage. There's also a tiny percentage of AR-15 owners that want to be seen on camera hauling around a gun that looks like a full auto machine gun from the military and yelling that they're going to come for your throat and kill you and are making everybody look bad. And right in the middle is everybody else who just wants this argument to go away because it's bullshit. I'm one of those people in the middle. I want the argument to go away. And the easiest way to do that is to let them complain about the gun being black or it having a foregrip or buttstock that looks funny. And just make it compliant. And I want to point out again, the side not benefit is that the California laws make it to where you're selling guns that are harder to aim and more likely to hit a bystander or somebody downrange by accident because they wanted to outlaw a foregrip and a pistol grip, which makes it really hard for the gun to get out of control. Again, I made a video helping people and someone criticized me for saying something accurate. The video was about AR-15s only. Stop calling it an AR. That's what it fucking was. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Leave your comments below in the description. And if somebody can figure out what the typing this person did should have been, please do so.